Hello! Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Brave and the Kobolds. The last time you entered the forest after receiving instructions by a few people, specifically a small child who was called Demo, whose older brother Mino is in the Red Herring gang. Upon entering the woods, you ventured in a bit and you actually met this older brother who was tied to a tree, who'd been left there by his former gang mates after protesting the theft of the toy owl bear, which you are currently trying to retrieve for the two children that you met in the town square. While you rescued this young man, you were also accosted by a forest creature, sort of a shambling mass of vegetation, and their little army of fairies. I would say through some good diplomacy on behalf of Noki, you were able to get out of that unscathed, and no fairies were killed. I cannot stress this enough.
No fairies were harmed in the making of this encounter.
Well, no, they were. No, hold on. They were very harmed. They were quite seriously harmed, but not killed. You promised to get rid of the intruders, the sort of these interlopers who are basically, what you assume are the Red Herring gang. Mino told you where to go, and he did mention that the gang, the Red Herrings, are actually going off to meet with somebody. Bonus points if you can remember the name of the person that they are going to meet. It's been a while. It was Garland.
I was gonna say Lawrence. I don't know why.
It's in my
Lawrence.
notes. I just opened my notes. And it's right there. Garland.
You still get the points.
Through Lambert.
Yes, Lambert is, according to Mino, the sort of head of the Red Herrings. And Lambert had sort of said that they were going to make this deal. They were going to deliver this owlbear to Garland, and they were going to get loads of money. Let's just jump right back in. You are in the woods. This shambling vegetation creature has retreated back to the foliage, to the woods, and you are on this very narrow sort of beaten earth path, and I guess you're facing the direction that Mino pointed you in.
We're alive! Meeza's they're just like hyperventilating in a little ball.
I will pat Noki on the back. Thank you.
For what?
All of your help.
Okay. Yes, that was surprisingly competent.
Surprisingly?
I'll just kind of go over to Meeza and just kind of look down at them and not really sure what to do. And then I'll look back at Ag like,
I didn't mean to kill it. More
was,
uncontrollable sobs.
It's okay. It flew away again. No harm done. But maybe next time, remember the breathing.
How do you breathe?
In and out. Breathe. Next time, try doing that before.
It was going to discover us. We had to do something.
Yes.
I didn't think I was going to kill it.
Well,
it's never been that powerful before. Normally, it's like a little tickle.
Well, sometimes for really tiny things, it is more easy to hurt them. Like if you drop an egg, it will break.
So Meeza's sobbing still.
Sobbing.
Are they still sobbing? Okay. Grub's eyes open, and you feel like a very, very gentle, a small animal trying to hug you. But
Oh,
his little,
I kind of squeeze him a little tighter, but not too tight.
yeah, his eyes pop. No, I just no,
What
he's
have I done?
he's fine. Yeah, you just feel him sort of wiggle around a bit, but it's not in a distressed way. You feel like he's trying to calm you down.
All right, I calm down and then I settle him back in his little papoose.
I will be searching the area for like a path that's leading us to the next to sort of where we need to be going.
Effectively, the Mino just told you to sort of to follow this path, but he also said that it would end up in a in a clearing, and that there would be a red ribbon or a red sort of red herring insignia tied to a branch, and that would be pointing you in the direction, like in the next direction of where you need to go.
We should move forward cautiously until we come across the signal for the herrings, at which point I believe we should move forward very quietly.
Okay.
And we should probably also keep an eye out for any more of those little flying things and the miado that can move.
Yes, we should. However, as we are very unfamiliar with all creatures in this forest, I believe it will be beneficial if we treat everyone as friendly until proven otherwise.
Should we go like pet the trees and like hug them?
We did kind of pull the skin out of like one of them, so maybe that's why it was mad.
Like, is there any like thing you could do, Noki, to make it like us more?
I don't think so.
Perhaps we should simply be good guests.
Yes, just if we don't step on any of those. I mean, to be fair, I am also always a bit grumpy when it is time to shed my skin.
And before bed. And
yes, it's not a pleasant experience. I can't imagine being this big and having to do it to this extent.
Exactly.
Yes, we must assume that creatures are not unkind toward us.
I'm gonna go and take out of my satchel bag the clump of grass that I had in there, and I'm going to just gently put it back down on the ground. Just sort of like pat it in like a little bit, and then follow Zaffre.
Are you traveling single file? Are you traveling as a little cluster?
Oh, he'd want everyone to walk single file.
Oh.
And I'm gonna do what Zaffre said, because the last time I did something, it went really bad.
I'll be in the back, sort of keeping an eye on everyone.
Noki, you, nobody else in the party hears this, but Noki, you hear on the breeze, in the language that the shambling leaf and vine creature was speaking, something that approximates "thank you." This is when you sort of all agreed to be good guests, and Meeza sort of put the grass back. You hear this sort of voice sort of creak in the wind saying, expressing gratitude.
Aww.
So you follow this path, and it does eventually, the trees start to thin out and the vegetation starts to thin out until you do reach a sizable clearing. There's sort of some low growing fern bushes and tufts around. There's some rocks and fallen leaves, but it's fairly spacious. And in the middle, there is this large tree that you presume is the tree that Nina was talking about, and it towers over you like no tree you've seen before. And I guess you look up to the branches, but there is no ribbon. You see where it is, and it's lying on the ground, torn in two.
We have a problem.
What's the problem?
And he points to the ribbon torn.
Oh. I get out the bandana that we have that looks like it.
I wonder, someone was here before us and took down so that we wouldn't know.
Does it look like there's any structures in the tree?
It looks like all the other trees, it's just bigger. You can't see anything sort of nestled amongst the branches or anything like that.
I will start looking around on the ground.
Okay.
I think he's going to do that. You know, like he doesn't have a magnifying glass, but if he did, he would have it out. So he's just sort of bent down, and he's looking looking very seriously. You know, at the tracks on the ground, and the paths and everything.
Is there anything like in the, because it's a clearing with a tree in the middle?
Yeah.
Is there anything else like bigger than us around this area or not?
Do you mean like vegetation or just anything?
Humanoids, probably.
Oh, humanoids. Oh
Yeah.
no, it is deserted. There are no other other people or creatures. That it's just an empty clearing.
I don't think I could be looking for anything, to be fair.
Oh,
Just sort of standing around, waiting for what happens next.
Find a nice root to have a seat on.
Yeah, exactly. Just if there's a nice tree stump or something.
there is one of the roots of this tree has burst out of the soil and is sort of doing one of those a nice arch. You know how tree roots,
Yes.
they sort of go in and out of the ground. So there is a natural bench for you.
Yes, I have a seat.
Can I like walk around the tree and kind of see like how big the tree is, and maybe if there's like any like you know, like signs of disturbance?
So at this point, I will have Zaffre and Meeza both roll for investigation.
No.
I got a 9.
I got a 7. Wah wah wah.
Well, okay. I'm gonna say that Meeza is assisting you, because Meeza is also investigating.
All right.
And we'll pretend that was planned.
Oh yeah, that
beforehand.
was totally planned.
Yeah. Narratively speaking, between the two of you, you do see some like disturbed foliage. You sort of see there are gaps between the fallen leaves. There's like a couple of broken twigs, and it looks a lot like a trail of footsteps. You get the impression that there's more than one pair of sort of footprints. It gets a little bit messy around the tree, and then it kind of disappears. You're not able to follow it down a specific route through the trees. But what you do find on the sort of outskirts of this clearing, sort of near the edges where it goes back into the trees, between two trees, you see a tuft, like a little wad of soft white material. I would argue that Meeza would recognize this, just as Meeza would have recognized the owlbear toy, because I presume Meeza would have had some soft toys in their collection. And you recognize this effectively as stuffing. This is the stuff that's inside a soft toy, and that's sort of just stuck. It's sort of like stuck on a little branch. You know, it's like snagged on it. Below it, on the ground, there is a rectangular piece of material with some what looks like a bit of thread kind of coming off of it, and that's become sort of snagged on this little branch as well.
It must be this way.
But look it, and I'm going to pick up the stuffing. Do you know that there's somebody, I don't know who it was, but they said that this like stuffing material, it tastes like clouds.
No, don't. And I take it and I carefully put it away. And then I take a little piece of fabric and the thread and I carefully put it away. And then
Is this from that sewing kit thingy that you need to find?
I believe it is. That is why it must be preserved.
The square of material, when you pick it up, Zaffre, you do see that there is some writing on it. It's in common and it's sort of embroidered, and it says, "For my darling children, with all my love, K," and it's the letter K.
He doesn't know what that means, but
Okay.
okay, and just goes in his. Yeah, he carefully puts it away. But he's gonna wave Egg and Noki over.
What did you find?
We found the path.
And
Not
some
good.
stuff. Specifically stuffing.
Yes, we must.
Like what you put in like a grub for eating, or?
No,
No. This is Zaffre. You show him. It's from. I think it's from like the little plushy toy that the boy lost.
I show them the items and put them.
Somebody told me though that it tastes really good, like clouds.
So
I don't
how
know
do
what
you
a-
know what clouds taste like?
I don't know. That was just what someone told me. I overheard him saying that it's supposed to taste really good.
Well,
Who told you that?
I don't know. It was one of the kobolds that visited with us. I don't remember their name.
Was it Klag?
Well, is he the funny one with like the missing ear?
Yeah, but the little yes.
don't listen to him.
Not a word he says is true.
I caught him eating a spoon. Spoons are
Okay.
to use to eat, not for eating.
To protect your knees.
Protect my needs.
They are armor and for eating. They are
Yeah.
not to be
Well,
eaten.
the little ones are for eating. Obviously,
Yeah.
these ones are too big to be anything but armor. So
Yeah.
Anyway.
So Klag was wrong then.
yes.
Klag is wrong about most things, yes.
But I saw him eating it one day. He actually asked me for a stuffy and I gave it to him. Was that a bad idea?
Did
All
you
right.
ever see Klag again?
That what happened to him.
All right, we should move forward now silently, so that as they may be aware that we are coming,
Okay.
prepare yourselves to sneak. And he'll kind of, adjust all of his armor and stuff to try and make it as tight as possible.
You seem like you would be the noisiest of us all with all that clanky bits.
Yes, well, that is why I maintain it and oil it regularly. Keeps it quiet.
Okay.
You go for the gap in the trees where you found the bit of stuffing and this this piece of fabric, this embroidered fabric. Sure enough, eventually this path becomes more sort of well trod, and it's winding this way and that. I would like you all to roll for perception, please.
All right. I'm lying again.
Well,
Noki. I'm sorry it always has to be you, but you while you're walking, you sense a shadow briefly pass over the group.
From above, or?
From above, yeah.
Hmm.
But you don't hear anything. But you do notice this shadow, like something has passed over you.
And I just immediately freeze up.
I walk into Noki. Why'd you stop?
There was something like going over us, flying. Maybe I don't know, but there was something.
I look up. With my 8 perception, I look up.
Does only Meeza look up?
Yeah, I'll look up too.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm looking around.
Okay. So I would say Meeza, Zaffre, and Ag. You see the tree trunks that surround you tower up above you and kind of spread out into their myriad branches and into the canopy above you. And it to you, you're still getting used to sort of the surface world, and it does look a bit sort of confusing. It's like a big mess of green and brown, and there's sunlight as well, which again is something you're still getting quite used to. Noki, you notice that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 branches that seem to be a little bit more segmented. They're converging towards a shadowy shape that when you first looked up, you thought, oh, that's just another clump of leaves and tangled up branches, but you can see now that it's like a body.
Oh no. And I start pushing everybody the opposite way of where that's happening.
So down?
She pulls the egg.
No, wait. We're still at the edge of the clearing, right?
No.
Oh no.
You're
We're now
down
at yeah.
You're in the middle of like this path. You're along this path.
I guess backwards from the tree then, not down.
I think if you're moving, Noki, if you're kind of either pushing Meeza or pulling Meeza or sort of moving, you see now very clearly this thing above you moves in complete synchronicity and complete parallel to you, and the body at the center of these 8 sort of very long spindly protrusions kind of moves so that it's just above you.
Nope.
It's great. This is
fine.
This is fine.
Noki,
Hey.
can you speak with this creature?
Hello?
Do you say hello in common?
I guess I'll do it in druidic. Guess that helped last time, so
Okay.
logically.
So the rest of you hear Noki sort of emit this kind of sibilant, creaking, croaking language. The thing above you sort of stops moving, and then it starts lowering down. It starts coming down towards you.
I'm out of there. I'm running.
Is it hostile, or is it more like a curious?
As soon as Meeza
Runs. I run.
darts away, the sort of protrusions, which you now recognize as quite hairy legs, let go of the trees that they were holding on to, they were perching on, and this thing plummets down and is suddenly effectively like a cage with its 8 long legs, and its big, fat, hairy body, and its shiny black eyes, and this giant spider is now on top of you, and it is dripping this sort of mucousy ooze from its mandibles, and it is time to roll initiative. Hail, travelers! Today's mid-episode shout-out goes to JOOZEY at RPG PAPERCRAFTS. They create gorgeous and ingenious pop-up foldable maps and terrain for your tabletop role-playing games. Print out, cut, fold, and assemble these beautiful and super mobile resources that are easy to store and deploy. Pocket Forest Go! You can keep up with all their latest designs and releases by following them on social media, as well as supporting their work on Patreon. Links to all these are included in the video description below.
So is it only over me, or is it big enough that it has sort of encompassed us all in its 8 caged like arms?
The spider has become like a living cage on top of, around of, depending which way you want to look at it, Zaffre, Noki, and Ag. I would say, Meeza, because you ran off, you were sort of just beyond the sort of the wall of legs, but you are still near it. It's Ag first. What does Ag do?
Does it look very mean?
Well, it isn't displaying emotion. It's a giant spider. It looks.
Spiders have feelings too.
Oh, I'm not doubting that. I mean, if any of you can mind read, you probably find out that it's fairly dissatisfied with its lot in life, and wishes that the other spider down the forest would notice them more. But you can't, so you don't know this. This giant spider just looks like it means business. It's big creature, and it would definitely look scary to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think kobolds are also like food to some larger animals, so I imagine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not entirely unused to being a prey.
I sort of, as it comes down, a flash of light springs from Ag.
Okay.
It's a 22.
Oh my goodness.
Does that hit?
Yes, it does. So describe to me what happens, how you cast the spell.
She just, as it comes down, she sort of half swears, half prays to her god. And just as she does that, it sort of goes, ah!
Yeah.
Light flashes out from her hands.
Okay, and so your guiding bolt sort of explodes into, because at this point the spider was actually quite close to you.
Yeah.
So it really kind of does a big flash of light, and there's almost sort of radiant sparks showering everywhere.
Yes.
And the spider lets out a sort of a big hiss.
The sort of glittering light that sort of stays on the spider. Because with Guiding Bolt, the next person to make an attack against it has advantage.
So it hisses in pain, and then where the Guiding Bolt sort of hit its mark, this sort of ethereal golden sort of mist of sparkles envelops the whole spider. So now it's glowing as well. Next up is Meeza.
I would like to run up to it, and I would like to shocking grasp it in its face.
Okay.
Yay!
Oh my goodness.
Yay! I kind of look back at the three that are in its clutches, and I look back down towards the path that we came, and I look back at them again, and I consider, and then I go, well, darn it. I sort of inch tentatively towards it, and I shock it with my hand, and then I run away. It can't take reactions until the end of its next turn, so.
Oh, nice.
So I can run away for free.
So you boop the snoot of this spider, and along with the sort of the glowing radiant glitter that's enveloped it, you also see these sort of rivulets of lightning sort of careen off of its face. All of its eyes seem to be blinded as well. Yeah, and it hisses very loudly again, and it kind of it seems a little bit less steady on its 8 feet. Zaffre, over to you.
He is delighted at the opportunity to finally use his brand new sword. Well, new to him. So he's going to pull out his sword. He's going to run up to one of the legs and swing at it with both hands. Does an 18 hit?
It does.
Woohoo! So that's 6 damage.
Okay.
It's also supposed to add, it did not, it's supposed to add a +2 to that, so that's 8 damage. So he's gonna pull out his sword and give it a good solid swing and chop at the spider's leg.
The leg, just you cleave it. It sort of just snaps off. You get showered in sort of icky spider blood and goo.
It is the price of victory.
At this point, the spider, it's glowing. Its face is singed. One of its legs has been hacked off. Its whole body shudders a lot, and it is going to wait for its turn because it's Noki's turn. Sorry.
So I'm first of all gonna run from underneath it because no. Get about like 10 feet away from it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the range of this spell. And you can make a Constitution saving throw. No, it just says the DC is 13.
Okay.
Never mind. These small little mushrooms start like sprouting from her paw, from her claw. It's not a paw. And from there on, like this spray of poison cloud just kind of poofs from it, and it just like falls like down right before the spider.
The spider sort of looks at the puddle of poison. I'm imagining maybe the leaves that it falls on start to hiss and disintegrate. You moved away.
Yeah.
Correct?
10 feet.
10 feet. So it's actually going to go for Ag because Ag was just below it and it was really close. And it's going to try and restrain you.
Okay, as it does that, sort of as I see it coming at me, I light up. There's like a big flash of light again, and I force. Yes.
Hold on a second. It's not your turn.
No, this is a reaction. If I get attacked, I can impose disadvantage on the attack roll.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
you literally just told me. Yeah.
Ag just does a big light flash, attempting to blind the spider.
Okay.
Spiders like dark corners.
So the spider is sort of dazzled by this big wall of light that you've flashed at them, but they still sort of I guess they turn around and point their bum at you, and shoot a big thread of spider web that would be
twice because you have disadvantage. All right,
11.
11 is not enough to hit me.
okay. So the spider aims its bum at you and farts out this. I know they don't fart it out, but whatever.
Oh god! Now they fart. Now they
now
farted
they
out.
fart.
It's canon.
It's a special homebrew type of spider. It shoots out this strand of webbing. It misses you by a country mile, and it just hits a tree behind you. And then the spider sort of turns around to see if it hit you, and it kind of whimpers. Just looks very dejected. Yeah, and I think it's actually gonna sort of start cowering a little bit away from you all. But it is Ag's turn again now.
So it's not standing over us anymore, right?
It's
No.
cowering now.
It's moved away from its sort of cage position, and it's now it's in front of you, but it's sort of trying to get away.
No, I'm not going to do that.
It's cowering, Egg. But
Yeah, I'm just gonna
it didn't
cast-
kill us.
I'm just going to cast light and make
Okay.
us look very, very bright and scary again.
Okay.
It doesn't do any damage or anything. I'm just trying to sort of intimidate it.
Okay. Roll for intimidation.
Oh. Could have seen
Well,
that.
you
that
said
coming.
the word.
Yeah.
You said the word intimidate.
20.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. I'm just going to say it. You're all out of initiative. The spider very lopsidedly scuttles away, and it clambers back up up the tree it just plummeted from, gurgling and hissing dejectedly all the way. Yes, good job. You did
And
it.
I takes a big sigh. It sits back down on the thingy again. Like, whew.
I want to pick up the spider's severed leg, and kind of
Okay.
like hold it in front of me like a sword.
A bit of goo squirts out of it and hits you in the face.
I drop it and then prestidigitation it away.
Oh yeah, you've got the instant cleaning spell.
I have the insta clean spell.
Zaffre is quite happily covered in gore, and
I'm gonna
he's just like,
just slowly approach and prestidigitation away all over the way.
everyone is safe. Yes, I've done my job.
Why does this forest want to kill us?
I mean,
All
there's
creatures
things
need
in the
food.
cave that also want to kill us, so.
But Noki, didn't you make a deal with the forest that it wouldn't kill us if we got the people out?
No.
I thought that's what the deal was.
And I don't think Noki has said anything about
Oh, I
the
suppose,
forest thing
That's
saying that it
Yeah,
wants to
that
kill
whole
us.
that whole conversation was in Druidic.
Oh yeah, that was. Sorry, I apologize. Let me rewind that.
So you've survived this encounter with a giant spider. What do you do next?
Do
Carry
we keep
on.
going?
We must.
Yes.
How do we know they're even in here anymore?
If we do not find them, then we will find clues.
I put the severed spider leg in my bag. I kind of use it like a back scratcher.
You accidentally poke Grub in the eye. You hear like a little squelch and
Oh, I put it away.
so you're pressing on down this beaten path. It keeps getting sort of more windy and bendy, and it sort of levels out a bit. It was sort of going up and down a bit, but now it sort of levels out. I'm going to ask you to roll for perception again, all four of you, please.
Oh.
This has gone great all the other times.
There's what we want with that -2.
Oh, look at that.
Okay.
That's what happens when you pick a wise character.
Yeah.
It's always you.
You are in your environment. You're in the so actually I'd say Noki, Zaffre, and Ag. The three of you, your ears prick up because you hear ahead of you what seem to be some raised voices. The majority of them sound quite high-pitched, but one of them is much deeper. You can't make out what they're saying, but you can hear sort of these voices echoing a little bit in the woods ahead of you.
He'll stop everyone and turn to everyone and, we must be silent. We must quietly sneak up on them and hear what they're saying so we can know what's going on.
Okay.
Everyone, be quiet.
Okay.
And then he'll start sneaking toward the voices.
Okay.
Just he starts shushing louder.
Okay!
A flock of birds just springs up. But you're approaching, you're moving forwards very quietly.
Yeah, we're gonna stealth up there.
You venture forth because you said you're making an effort to be quiet, so I think maybe you're kind of stepping so as not to break any twigs, to not rustle anything, any bushes too much. You approach and you see now that there is a gaps forming between the trees. The trees are thinning out again, so you are approaching another clearing, and you can just about see a group of 5 human figures. 4 of them are shorter. One of them is particularly short, and this shortest one is standing sort of up close to the 5th humanoid figure, who is taller than all the rest and is wearing what looks like, it could be a cloak, it could be a long coat, it could be a cape, you're not sure. The others, though, the other figures, including this very short one, are all, you see a flash of bright red on all of their arms. And you still can't sort of hear exactly what they're saying, because the 4 sort of average height ones are sort of muttering amongst themselves. The shortest one, who is standing up close to the non-arm band wearing individual, is sort of laughing, sort of quite obnoxiously.
I think Zaffre wants to get up to the edge of the clearing, so as close as they can get, so like if they need to, they can just jump out.
Okay, so you are actually moving a bit closer then. You're moving forwards a little bit, so if you could roll for stealth, please. Very good. You don't make any more sound than any of the sounds, that just natural noises of the woods, so these figures don't notice you. Now that you're closer, you can see there are 4 young humans. You would suspect teenage years, and they're all wearing sort of scruffy clothing along with the armbands. The shortest one is wearing like a leather jacket with the sleeves torn off. The 5th figure is wearing a very long coat, but they're a little bit in shadow still. You can see they're an adult, also laughing a little bit, just a little bit softer. They both stop laughing. The short figure extends a hand holding something to the taller figure, and you can see just for a second that it is Hoots the owlbear. This tall figure snatches it out of this short teenager's hand, moves their hand into the folds of their coat, and takes out a bag, like a little pouch.
He's gonna just come rushing out of the...
Oh no!
No.
yelling, "Thieves! Stop in the name of the law!"
Well, we're dead.
Waving his sword around.
All of them turn and look at you.
I'm mostly going for the tallest guy.
Okay.
He's got the item.
The shortest figure, who you notice just for a fraction of a second is barefoot and has sort of hairy feet, snatches the pouch from the outstretched hand of this figure that he has just delivered the owlbear to. You hear a distinct jingling sound, like small metal objects clinking together. You recognize it as coins. This teenager sticks sort of his fingers in his mouth and he lets out a whistle, and he and the other 3 teenagers bolt. They just run out of this clearing and they run off into the trees, cackling and whooping loudly. The tall figure, who is currently holding Hoots the owlbear, turns around. You see a brief flash of sunlight on metal as they lift up their other arm, which doesn't end in a hand, but it ends in a 2-pronged metal hook. And this man lifts up this hook and sort of pulls away some strands of sort of matted hair that have been obscuring his face, and you see this sort of very grizzled, grey-looking face, and it's riddled with scars and pockmarks. He just looks at you with not even surprise, just sort of very just intense. It's an intense glare. And
get away with this, you dastardly villain!
What the devil are you?
I'm the law!
You don't look like any law I've ever seen before.
As this is going on, I would like to make my way up to the edge of the clearing. Once I get to the edge of the clearing, if I'm within 30 feet of this gentleman while he is being distracted by Zaffre, I would like to summon my mage hand behind him, and I would like to take the owlbear from his hand.
I think, but he's probably gripping it quite tightly.
Okay.
But so yeah, let's do sleight of hand.
Ooh.
Okay, your mage hand yanks the owlbear out of his grasp.
And immediately goes up so he can't reclaim.
We start tossing it back and forth.
Like you pulled it over a small child, like
And then I would like it to just like, if he hasn't noticed, I don't know.
He's noticed. He was
Okay.
gripping it quite hard. You yanked it forcibly out of his hand.
And then the mage hand just coming back towards me as quickly as it can.
and I will bravely stand between them.
Oh, vast and blazes! Give that back!
No!
You disgusting little pig lizard!
It does not belong to you.
You are a bad man.
Oh.
Yes, you
And
are.
he kind of gives a low, exasperated chuckle, and his now free hand moves to his side
Uh-oh.
to reveal the hilt of a sword. You notice another flash of sunlight on metal, specifically on a small silvery cylinder that is hanging from a thread around his neck. He sort of glares at you, Meeza and Zaffre, and says, "I'd be worse than bad.